Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. So today's video is all about the Bleep test. I get a lot of questions about this because since the army have changed the 2K run for the assessment centre to the Bleep test, I feel like throughout COVID people want advice on that, and I definitely wanted to know how to tackle that before I did my assessment centre back in December. So I wanted to basically put together my advice from how I trained for doing the Bleep test, how I've improved my score, and just general tips and things like that. So I'm gonna say now, before I start the video, I am not a pro at the Bleep test. The highest level I can really get to is about a 10, but I started at a level like 7.5, so it's how I've improved from that to get up to level 10. Obviously for most soldier roles you need, I think, 8.6, 8.7, so getting a level 10 is clearing that like easily. So I don't claim to be like hitting Paris levels or anything like that, but it's just how I have improved doing the Bleep test, and I've only done it probably about 6 times in the last 6-7 months. So for training for my original assessment centre and then up to date, and basically how during those few sessions I have improved my score. So firstly, my tips would be always warm up before you do the Bleep test. When I did my assessment centre I didn't really have a chance to do a full warm up, but I did manage to stretch before I did it, so my muscles were sort of ready. I did the Bleep test at the very end of my day for the assessment centre, so it was cold, wet, rainy. I'd been up about 12 hours, so you need that kind of stretch or slight warm up if you can, if you do have the time, just so your muscles are ready to then be going into the Bleep test. My second bit of advice would be, when you're doing the lower levels for the Bleep test, try and be as relaxed as possible. You want to be hitting the line on the beep. You don't want to be getting there early. The big mistake a lot of people make is getting to the line too early, which means you ran too fast and then you're waiting and then you're going again, so it's that stop start. You want to aim so it's continual like flush motion, and equally you don't obviously want to be getting there too late. So finding that pace might take a while, but when I did my assessment centre they basically coached us as we were doing it to get the right pace. But it's important to get that pace before you go to the assessment centre, so you know you feel comfortable hitting whatever level you need to hit and what type of speed you need to be doing on the day in order to ensure that you're hitting the lines when you're supposed to. A second thing is about how to approach hitting the line. So I've seen a lot of people like jump on the line with one foot and then jump off. That wastes too much energy. What you need to do is run so your foot hits the line. You only need one foot to hit the line, then you twist and swivel your body and then you push off from that very same foot. So effectively one foot will hit the line, you twist and you push straight back off again. So realistically your other foot is like a meter into the distance each time, so it's almost like you're only doing 18 meters because your full body's not going over the line per se, you're just hitting the line with your foot. That's all you need to do, and I find that saves you a lot of time. And once you master that motion of running, tap and pushing straight back off, you don't lose any momentum either. I'd also say the Bleep test is very mental. For me it's tackling that mental element and pushing through. I think I get to probably level 6 or 7 and then I'm like, okay, I'm either bored or I'm starting to feel my body working, and that's when it's easy to want to give up. So you need to push through that, especially if you're running with other people that fall out on the levels before you. Like for me, when I did my actual assessment centre, I was the last person standing, so when other people have peeled off and you're the only person going and you've already hit the level that you need to get for your role, it can almost be difficult to just keep going and killing yourself for the fun of it, just for the fun of getting a good score. But you need to sort of train in the way that you go and go and go and keep getting the shuttles until you die, because especially on the assessment centre, getting a good score, it'll go on your record, it's important and it shows your level of fitness, and equally it's the last thing that you do. So if you kill yourself and you need a little bit of rest time, you have it. Once you battle that mental element, to know what you're capable of, to feel confident in hitting the levels at the right time and to know what level you're aiming for, then I feel like you can kind of battle that mental element even if there are other people around you, you know, perceived to be running faster or stronger or slower or whatever it may be. And I would say as well, practicing the Bleep test, I personally practiced it twice before I did it on the day, because I didn't know it was a Bleep test back in December until a week before my assessment. So I would recommend practicing it if you have time before your assessment. So if you find out a month or 2 before, then I would say practice it once a week and maybe practice it twice a week the week or two before you go, just so you have that extra like level of confidence. But I would say once a week is sufficient, and then all the other training sessions I did were just solely sprint based fartlek training, or just general like hill sprints, stair sprints, that type of thing, because that will then build the speed that you need for the high levels. And then I did long runs, like low, slow, long runs, and then tempo, like mid-paced, fast runs as well, to get that level of endurance there. So then you can control like the speeds that you're doing, and you have that, you're used to running at constantly for X amount of time. Plus, I would say the Bleep Test is all about breathing. You need to really control your breathing as you're going back and forth, because obviously you're getting increasingly faster. There's no way to really regulate your breathing unless you're super in control. And I think the second that you start to like get out of, you know, focus with the breathing that you're doing is when you start to really struggle doing like the rounds. And I guess my final, 2 bits of advice would to be, set a goal for what you want to get. So if you're aiming for, you know, a general soldier at like 8.7 or whatever you need to get, I would say aim for a bit above that. So aim to train for like, say, a 9.5, and then you know you're going to smash 8.7 on the day. And then if in training you reach 9.5 quite consistently, move your goals to 10, and so on and so forth, or whatever you need, aim for above that. I remember the first time around I trained for a 9, I did 2 9s, and on the day I think I got an 8.4, 8.3, because obviously, you know, the conditions on the day, raining, tired, whatever it may be, it's the end of the day, it enables you to perform a little bit less than you would when you're fresh out performing at 6 in the morning. So, you know, bear all that in mind too. And I think when you've got that goal and you know you're capable of hitting that goal, you know you can do it on the day and you have that level of confidence. And when you come to the end shuttles where it's difficult and you're really working, the best bit of advice I kind of use and can give is just focus on the next shuttle. Don't think about, oh, I've got 15 shuttles to get until I reach my goal. Or don't think about that. Just go line, 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 and it kind of like goes by. I also don't listen to the numbers that they're shouting out, because it can get in your head and you can be like, God, I'm only on level 7, I've got to get to level 9 or level 10 or level 11 or whatever you're going for. It can seem like it's a long way away. So just focus on like the here and now, like get to that line, get to that line. It will go by a lot quicker. Also on the actual assessment centre you get 3 strikes, and they are very, very worth having and using. So to my knowledge, correct me in the comments if I am wrong, if you are running and you miss the line 3 times, they will count the score that you come off on, not the score that you would have come off on minus the 3. So that's probably a really poor way of explaining it. But for example, if I ran, say, an 8.5 and then I just came off and were like, I'm done, you'd get an 8.5. But if I did an 8.5 and then missed 8.6, 8.7 and 8.8, you'd get an 8.8. So they count the shuttles you try to do and you get 3 strikes. Also, if you miss a shuttle, which is very difficult to miss a shuttle in the early rounds, I think it refreshes after a certain amount of rounds. It says it all, more information on the website, so that's the place to go and check that out for the army. But yeah, basically, if you feel like you're shattered and you can't make it and you're not going to make it, just go anyway. Even if you don't make it, just keep slogging it about, even if you miss a few, because they will count in the long run for when you get your 3 strikes or whatever. The summary is really just train to a level that you know you can confidently do on the day. If you're getting closer and closer and closer to the assessment and you're nowhere near meeting what you need to meet, or you're not going to get it, in my personal opinion, I would probably say leave it and delay your assessment, because I think it's really important to go into your assessment centre being super confident and knowing that you can hit it and showing the army that you are physically fit and that you've trained, rather than going to the assessment centre and potentially failing it. So it's all about practice with the Bleep Test and having a level of confidence, understanding like what you need to do in order to perform very well at the Bleep Test, and then just putting the training and putting the work in. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.